coming out in 2019, and also iPhone 11R and the iPhone 11 Max will also be major phones. But right now, let's just talk about the two main smartphones, which is the 11 and the 11 Max, which will be rolling out in early to mid-September. Now, if you look at Evan Bloss's Twitter tweet, you can see this is the Verizon roadmap, and Verizon has already put out all the smartphones that they're launching, including the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 on August 10th, the Google Pixel 4 in October, and also the iPhone sometime in perhaps the 12th of September or the 15th of September. Naming. So we've been seeing some pretty weird names for Apple devices lately, and it's most likely going to be called the iPhone 11, 11R, and the 11 Max. Apple is probably going to be sticking with the Roman numerals, but of course the actual name when you say it is going to be the actual number, like 11 or 11 Max. Next is battery and charging. This is going to be a really interesting aspect of the smartphone because we finally see something really new that we've been seeing in Android smartphones. iPhone 11 is expected to support something called bilateral wireless charging, and this will allow you to use pretty much the back of your iPhone as a charging mat. So AirPower, that is gone forever. We're never going to be seeing that again. And the biggest reasons why is Apple is going for this sort of a bilateral charging style, so there's no need for a AirPower device where you can simply charge all of your wireless accessories on top of your iPhone 11. So for instance, you could place your AirPods 2 on the back of your iPhone 11 and it will charge your AirPods at a really fast speed. And other Android flagship smartphones have this functionality already. For example, the Galaxy S10 is the most famous example, and they have a function called Power Share. So to accommodate this wireless charging feature, iPhone 11 is going to be having a much bigger battery. If they keep the same battery size, well, after you charge your AirPods, your iPhone battery is most likely going to be draining a good amount. Min-Chi Kuo, who is one of the biggest Apple leakers out there, has predicted that the 5.8-inch iPhone battery will increase between 20 and 25%. The 6.5-inch is 10 to 15%, and the regular 6.1-inch 11R is not getting this bilateral wireless charging feature at all, so there's no point of increasing that battery size. So with a bigger battery and a more power efficient smartphone, users will definitely be able to take advantage of this feature without taking a too big of a hit to the battery life. Also, the port system. Apple has been pretty famous on changing a bunch of ports on their phones, iPads, and also laptops. It's like every 3 years we see something new, and you can't use the previous charging cord. So we probably will be seeing a USB-C charging cord, which is pretty nice, and we definitely will be seeing an upgrade from the 5-watt USB-A charging block to an 18-watt charging block, and you definitely will be paired with a USB-C to Lightning cable. And it'll be pretty nice, and I'm not really sure what Apple is doing. Maybe they'll be having USB-C on both sides. It's kind of confusing, but hopefully we'll be getting more information as the weeks go by. Connectivity. So Apple is currently supporting dual audio output via AirPlay 2. A report from Makatara last month claimed that iPhone 11 will be allowing users to send music to 2 different Bluetooth devices at the same time. So you can listen to music in your car speaker and still listen to them on your AirPods. 2 devices, it's actually really nice. And simply grab a buddy and share your music with yourselves and with him or her. So it's going to be really nice. iOS 13 adds support for pairing 2 sets of AirPods to 1 iPhone. And when it comes to network technology, don't expect iPhone 11 to be having the 5G support. That's not happening just yet. It's going to happen in 2020, and a bunch of Android manufacturers already have 5G. So if you desperately want that feature, time to change out of iOS. And once again, Apple is not launching a 5G phone, and they're still waiting for Qualcomm to manufacture the best 5G chips for their smartphones. Next is the A13. It's an absolute powerhouse. It seems like every single year, Apple always comes out with a chip that's much better than the Android chips like the Exynos, the Kirin, or the Snapdragon. And Apple this time will be continuing to improve its in-house mobile chip technology. iPhone 11 is expected to be featuring the A13 Bionic processor. Apple has already started producing these earlier this year with its partner TSMC. So A13 is built on a 7nm plus process, and it will be giving you a much better performance, major improvements between the A12 chip. Now, everyone's saying if you look at the Geekbench 4 single core CPU scores, A13 is most likely going to be having a 5,200 in the single core score. This blows off every single Android smartphone out there, and even most thin and light laptops and also tablets. If you take a look at the Geekbench scores right now, single core, you got the iPad Pro 11 inches, you got a 5,000 score on that, and when you slowly go down to the Samsung Galaxy S10, they only range about 4,200 to 4,300. And the lower you go, you can see most smartphones, tablets, and iPads, they all range between 2,000 to 3,000, and some, if they're lucky, they hit 4,000. So iPhone 11, extremely fast, it's gonna be a fantastic smartphone. Next is the cameras. So Bloomberg, which is one of the biggest sites for leaked smartphones and news in general, has reported that the third camera on the very back will be featuring an ultra wide angle lens, which allows users to take images that are a much larger field of view. Along with the third camera, Apple could do a whole bunch of stuff and increase the optical zoom of the iPhone, and also giving it a much better 3D depth sensing area, and the TOF sensor combined with Series AI and also AR features. You're going to be having a really fun and unique smartphone experience. As for the front-facing camera, Apple will reportedly bump the quality from 7 megapixels to 12 megapixels and go from a 4-element lens to a 5-element lens, improving photo quality, lighting, and a bunch more. It's a major bonus. It's pretty nice. It's like the upgrade that we really need. So next is the overall design. It's pretty controversial, and the overall smartphones are going to be very similar to the iPhone XS. So Phone Arena, credits to them, they actually got a bunch of iPhone 11 cases from Shenzhen. You can see they fit the cases to the current iPhone XS and the iPhone XS Max, and they're virtually the same exact size. The only difference is the camera bump on the very back. The camera module for the iPhone 11 is pretty big, but it will be packing a lot of power. The dimensions are virtually the same. The volume rockers and also the power button along with the mute button are slightly lower on the smartphone, which is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why Apple is doing it. Perhaps they want to make the power button a Siri button. Also, display. Displays on this year's iPhone 11 and the 11 Max are expected to be going unchanged compared to the XS series. They both will be featuring OLED panels, 5.8 inches to 6.5 inches, and it's going to be pretty cool. And one display feature that could change this year is 3D touch. Supply chains analysts have claimed that Apple will be taking away the pressure sensitive 3D touch feature this year. Also, iOS 13, some features actually don't support 3D touch anymore on your current iPhone 10 or XS. It's a major bummer, but Apple is having something much cooler in the mill, so we should definitely wait for that. And OLED panels, iOS 13, dark mode. You will be getting perhaps 1 to 2 hours of extra battery on your smartphone because the iOS 13's dark mode turns black pixels off, which save a ton of battery, and that should definitely give you a major edge against other Android smartphones. Price wise, it's probably most likely sticking to the same price range as this year. Prices could only go up so far that you can't really go any higher, because if you do, no one's going to buy it. $999 for the iPhone 11, $750 for the 11R, and then $1,100 or $1,200 for the iPhone 11 Max. So This is everything about the iPhone 11 up to now. We got a bunch of cool features, rumors, and design options. iPhone 11 is going to be a major powerhouse of the smartphone. Apple's doing some major renovations in the hardware and also the exterior of the smartphone. So definitely I'll keep all of you guys updated on all the latest leaks of Apple phones and Android phones. Thanks for watching and comment below.